Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Lane Yappers. Today we're going to be recapping the Singapore Grand Prix. I'm Lex.
I'm Mox.
I'm Reagan.
I'm Haley.
Wait a minute.
Whoa!
Hang on.
Pause!
You're gonna let Tay say her name.
I'm Tay.
Here we go.
Well, I was going to, but then Lex was like, wait a minute.
Moving swiftly on.
Anyway.
For context to just our listeners, Reagan and Haley's voices are swapped.
They are together.
They are together, though. They pulled a swift one on us.
We had a whole conversation about it in front of you guys.
Yeah, we
I went, should I say
You
Reagan?
think we were listening?
Yeah. We pulled a Freaky Friday. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Singapore. My favorite race of last year.
Did anything happen before Singapore?
None. K-Mag is
No.
back with a vengeance.
Well,
Allegedly.
so he said.
I'm ready to F things up. And he was silent this race. He was silent. But
I don't think anything happened other than that.
yeah. It's all after, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, no big news besides that. K-Mag was back, 0 penalty points, everyone trembling in their boots.
Yeah.
Me specifically.
Yeah.
Any listener knows I've got permanent beef with Kevin Magnussen. Jumping into, the action. FP1.
Lizard.
No, not yet. Was there?
That was a P3, wasn't it?
I don't know. I thought it was FP1, wasn't there?
I only watched the highlights, I'm sorry.
I just know the video of the marshals chasing Lizard is FP3.
It's just that, I know
Okay, so then maybe it was
lizard.
FP3.
It was only FP3. Okay.
That was the funniest video.
So FP1, I think my favorite part of FP1 was Fernando hitting every button.
He keyboard
Did
smash.
you mean to do that?
I said, did you mean it? He said, I'm just hitting
So-
everything.
I had to save it for another.
He said I didn't know what to do, so I hit it all.
And then later expanded in the post conference saying, it's like my oven.
He's so real for that. First of all, they were like, Fernando, just to confirm, you did hit the pit button and did not pit. And he goes, oh, I was just hitting things to try not to crash. And then I think it was Lawrence who asked him, like, can you explain why you were hitting? And he goes, it's like my oven when it goes off. I just hit buttons until it stops.
Very silly. Oh wait, okay, I have the full quote. Just to be sure, Fernando, you pressed the pit stop button, or the pit stop button. Was that intentional? No, to avoid a crash with this car, I simply pressed all the buttons there are. And he goes, well, we all do that at home. That happened to me last week with the oven. It wouldn't turn off, and I had to press everything and reset everything. And finally it turned off. So more or less, I did the same thing. That was
He
the
just
full quote.
compared his literal Formula One car to his oven.
Yeah.
Who knows? Could it be Maytag? I don't know. But
Anyways, welcome to Aston Martin, everybody.
welcome, Adrian Newey. Look what you've done.
All right.
Look what you need to deal with.
Working with.
He said buttons, minimal amount of buttons.
Minimal buttons.
We're gonna
The
limit it
steering
next
wheel's
year to
gonna have
just
pit.
maybe 1 or 2 buttons,
He's
please.
gonna have pit, DRS, overtake. That's it.
That wheel.
Not even
Not
DRS.
even. Yeah,
there
no
won't be-
DRS. One less thing for him.
Yep.
But
Alright, also in FP1, I've got Lando is on fire. Not literally. He was cooking.
yes, not literally is killing me.
Please.
King
I've had enough of that.
practices. Can I say something also about people on fire? Yuki Tsunoda, also
Yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo, but Yuki Tsunoda P5.
I just have Yuki underlined.
Danny was P7, which is very good for him, but Yuki was P5, so. Then Charles on up first. I skipped a few.
You skipped a few sessions for
I
that
skipped a
one.
few and I lied.
You know what I was kind of surprised with, but also not surprised with? A Merc down in P16.
Oh, I'm not shocked.
I've noticed that they definitely have their struggles with certain races.
I just-
That's a thing. The
They-
car every weekend you never know what to expect, and it's
Yeah.
weird that they haven't dialed in.
It does
But-
a lot better in cooler climates.
Mhm.
It's really, really good. Not-
Sadly, everywhere else we're going for the rest of the season's hot, hot, hot.
except for Vegas.
Oh, Vegas is
Except for
cold.
Vegas.
Vegas is gonna be ice. The only two
It's
cars
gonna be
going to be
snowing.
working on that track is going to be the Mercs.
Yeah.
Maybe the Aston Martins if Fernando
Hey,
Alonso just
Not too
presses
much
the
on my
Williams.
Williams cars.
The
Not
Williams.
too much on my Williams cars.
Real.
That car seems to be too hot, too much
That car
lately.
get too damn hot, too damn fast. We'll get there. Anyway,
But else happened in FP2?
we're not there yet. Were we?
FP1.
We're on
FP1 still.
FP1.
FP2. Anyways,
Any notes on FP1? Haley Reagan.
The last thing I have for FP1 is Alex Albon P8.
am I crazy? Anyways,
Reagan and Haley are just in their own little space. Their own little bubble over there.
It's just we're on FP2, right? Yeah, we're on FP2. Anyways, FP2, guys, we're on FP1. Any notes? Any you want to break down?
He said, hold on, I can't read her handwriting.
it's my chicken scratch.
She said, Nor crazy underline fast.
Yes,
Real.
Or
Likely.
drifting around turns.
he was doing them.
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, likely.
It seems to be a common thing that weekend.
Likely.
Anything else for my notes that you like?
Hold on. Some of these words start with M, and I
She's reading a menu. That one sounds good. What do you mean you
That
couldn't
is
read that? That's
such neat
so
handwriting.
legible.
No,
Haley, can you what?
it
not.
looks like it is, but trust me,
it's
you'll
a
get-
bunch of squiggles.
everything
basically.
is connected.
Yeah, I don't lift up my pen and I don't dot my eyes.
Sonata cooking.
That's
Real.
all that
She
matters.
she was able to read that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that say?
All the drivers are pushing full out.
Oh, yeah. All the drivers were pushing full out. Everyone was going really hard. for
They
it.
were. They
Yeah.
really were.
I was
They were
Earlier is that the commentators
I
kept.
remember
I promise this is practice. Like
not
I don't know
quality.
why they're all doing this.
mhm.
I remember waking up and like going on Twitter and everyone's like, why are people driving like it's the race? And I was like, oh Lord, I don't want to watch this. I was so ready for one of my guys to be in the wall.
Wasn't Charles almost
For more.
almost sent it into the wall, right?
Yeah.
That's not one of my men though, so we're good.
Yeah, me either. But
Was
we'll
was
pour
it-
one out for Rosie.
Was it one of
It was almost
these-
your man.
Was it one of these practices? Or was it last? Or was it Baku? I can't remember. I'm gonna be completely honest. Where Franco was like racing with
With
it Max?
And
Yeah.
Max giggled. I
He
think that
was
was
at
this
the-
race.
Was that was this one? I just don't know
Or
which
this-
FP,
This
which
weekend.
practice it was, but I thought that was really cute. I was like,
All
I
I
was
know
like,
is
this is-
Franco did something funny in FP2. But
My
it's not
notes.
that.
Hold on, let me read my notes.
Cut out, please.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
But I did not have that down, so
oh,
let's say it's FP1. Sure, Franco was racing Max. Wow, who would have thought Williams racing a Red Bull? Not me. Not in this year.
Not that.
Listen
right.
here.
certainly not somebody
Not
who just
that
got in
Red
the
Bull.
seat.
Yeah. Maybe Checo. Seen that.
In the
happen.
race. In the race, he was.
Yeah.
We'll get there. My boy.
I was mostly calling out Logan.
Oh,
He was busy fighting Checo every weekend.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. It
Are we
just
good with
really hit
FP2?
me.
FP2.
Yes.
Go to FP2.
FP2.
Wait a minute.
Franco went into the Alpine box instead of the Williams box and went, oops.
So why put the two blue teams next to each other?
There's too many blue teams.
This is why we need
My notes
Alpine
threw me
Peak.
off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is my
please.
petition for Alpine to be
Once
pink next
again.
to please.
That Jack
Once
was
again.
What Jack doing in that pink car? Make it a pink car, otherwise I'll be in that garage with a bottle of paint. I don't care about your weight limit.
bottle of pepper.
Okay, also, FP2, it was a little bit colder, like the track temp and like the weather temp. And the Mercedes did
Suddenly,
well.
Shocking.
Yeah.
A
I was
pass.
really
7th and 11th.
confused with my notes for a moment because the
You
top
know
of
who-
my first note was Ollie's so cute, and I'm like, he wasn't in this session. He was doing commentary.
He was doing the
He
commentary.
was doing live on-track commentary.
You know who really cooked? Yuki
Yuki.
Tsunoda.
Always.
The
He
both
floored.
the
Yuki on the
cars
radio
were
going,
cooking
"Is that
these
sarcastic?"
practices.
I'm going, you're doing really well. Is that
Like,
sarcastic?
don't-
He's so real for that.
Me. Big meme vibes. Like,
And they were like, no, we actually mean it. And he's like,
Really?
oh.
no, you're doing well.
He's probably like, I'm in the worst car on the grid. Do we even have to talk about what the kick Saubers were?
No.
And I don't have to
This
look.
entire weekend.
I said,
Horrible.
"Saw Haas
Alpine's
off track.
also dead.
Hey, non, please."
But
My notes.
also shocker Verstappen P15.
The note goes, Red Bull, both are
You know,
so cooked.
I really
Yeah, but
thought that
Checo
this was
was
gonna.
P8. He finished P8 and Max finished P15.
Max does not like Singapore. He said
No,
No.
Singapore does not like him back.
no.
They do not go well together.
Singapore.
It's I'm sorry to say it's kind of like George and Singapore.
Okay. Uncalled for.
Well, it was in this practice session,
It was
actually.
in this practice. I'm so sorry.
So it
to
might
say
have been
that.
called for. The phone was ringing,
Picked up.
and we picked it up. We answered.
What's that button?
The
What's your
final minute of practice versus the last lap of the race last year.
Going back to Rosie's men, Oscar almost crashed also.
Yeah.
He went wide in a turn and was like, but
Went on the radio.
he saved it.
Also FP2. Pierre impeded Checo, and he was like, "Who was that?" They were like,
No,
"Yeah,
no.
I'll remember him."
That was so
Ominous.
threatening.
Planning. What are you?
Correct me up.
What are you gonna do in your Alpine?
I would call up George and say I'm being threatened.
Yeah.
I need a right now.
Oh wait, hold on. We missed something before the race on Thursday. That's when Max got in trouble for swearing.
Oh,
Yeah. Well.
Community service.
And Max went, yeah, if that continues, I will retire. I was like,
no one
valid.
blames him.
I did read
Good.
something about swearing in Singapore, and I don't know how true that is,
It is true, but
but I don't know if that played
Exactly.
into that at all.
no.
I feel like that would have been a more like valid reasoning of
The-
just like the
yeah.
culture. It's not like whatever, but instead they were just like, "You said naughty word."
The fact they said community hours. They didn't say community service. They said community hours.
Have to go out in the community and be a normal person for a bit.
The only thing I have left is Lando on top.
Likely.
I said, Alex is flying.
Yeah.
Woo, purples. And I went, oop, Alex booped the wall.
Alex
My
proved the
mom
wall.
watches this.
Huh?
My mom watches this.
Listen,
Sorry, Steph.
Also, the Ferraris did really well. I mean, I was expecting Carlos to do really well because he now loves Singapore. I mean, he's always loved Singapore, but now he really loves Singapore. But Charles was also doing very well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which I mean is
So-
kind of expected because they did so well in Baku that the
Mhm.
setup of the car is in like a really good spot right now for these very tight specific street races.
I really like how they said we're bringing an upgrade to Austin, and every single Ferrari fan goes, "Please don't."
They're like,
Leave it be.
They're like, "Please don't." It's
Stop
done.
bring the
We
car-
don't need a repeat of last year.
ooh, 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 measure the floors.
they've repaved Austin. They've repaved
Yeah,
it.
they did.
That shouldn't be an issue this year.
Man, but that was funny.
We won't get excitement.
Listen, I got a
Well-
Lloyd.
Yeah. Yup.
All
It's
right.
not possible
anyways,
this year.
Hey,
FP3.
Wow. Lawson technically
problem.
is a
That would be a
Lloyd.
Liam Lawson.
Not the same.
I know.
One blonde man for another.
A lost oint. A lost oint
Anyways,
and a
we
loint are
will get
different.
there. We will get there. So FP3.
I Can't look
Lizard.
at my notes.
Yeah,
My note goes lizard.
Okay, lizard. I can do
I have
this. Lizard,
lizard, and
everybody.
I also remember Fernando Alonso said there's a lizard on track, and he was the one, and all the commentators were like, of course Fernando Alonso was the one who found the lizard because last year he killed the lizard.
Killed it.
Oh, and they named it Lawrence. Its name is Lawrence.
Yep.
Yeah. Last year's was Larry, right?
And then Godzilla was the
God-
original.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
the F1 editors, the social editors,
They deserve a raise. That was
a raise and
hilarious.
more, a raise and a bonus. Because what do you
The
mean that
freaking-
lizard set a flying
The
lap?
freaking apple.
Honestly, it was going faster than some of the cars on track.
This out.
Yes, the Saubers.
the Sours. Also, Lance Stroll. Love you, Lance, but Lance Stroll.
He was like, I'm green, it's fine, it's close enough. I'm like these colors. There I go.
Them, and
What?
then did you see the video of them releasing it into the
Into
crowd?
the crowd.
I would scream. I'd run away.
Calmly watch some cars and you're getting attacked by baby Godzilla.
I would sue someone. I'd be like, that was not my ticket package.
But going back to FP1 and not the I meant FP3.
Forte.
Max was once again fastest than like of the Red Bulls. Not
This-
fastest overall.
and that
but-
they actually looked decent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Mercs woke up. And the
Yeah,
Williams.
they didn't wake up though for the race.
Well, yeah.
It took
But the
some melatonin.
Williams, they cooked.
Yep.
Finally. I've been praying for times like these. I
They're
really
next to
did.
each other too.
Yeah, Franco's keeping up with him like really, really well. I'm proud of
I
him.
want
Give
him in
him a
that Sauber seat.
full-time seat.
Give him the Sauber seat, please.
Put him
Sauber,
with Nico.
he's
Because okay, wait,
don't want him
time
with
out.
Nico.
Not really fully time out, but what seats are left? Is it just the Sauber seat?
B Carbon Sauber.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sauber.
Carbon sour,
Okay.
sour
Because-
Liam wasn't.
Yeah. We
But,
can talk about
yeah.
that after.
Make
Yeah.
Liam full time.
Sauber.
Anyways, Lando number 1, George
Ooh,
2,
dog.
and then Oscar
Woo.
3. George and Oscar stick together.
Yeah.
That's for Rosie.
Wally.
Let me pull up notes because.
The only thing I have on my phone is Carlos crash.
Oh man,
Oh,
weren't
fuck,
there
I
yet.
forgot about that.
we weren't there yet. That's the end of qualifying. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even have which qualifying session it is. I just have Carlos crash.
Q1. Da-da-da-da-da. Lando on top.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into the little tough part for you, Mox. So knocked out of Q1, we've got the Saubers,
Likely.
Pierre,
Likely.
Stroll, and an unfortunate Q1 exit by Daniel Ricciardo. Now, going into this weekend, there has been some suspicion of Daniel's performance and how that could amount to him potentially exiting the team. Well, hold on. You'll have the moment. Give us a moment. So, starting off the part of the weekend that matters with the Q1 exit is not going to be in his favor. Unfortunate as it is.
Listen, he's not gonna make miracles happen. I get it. It's fine. And
Well,
I wasn't. Obviously I was like, he's gonna be in Red Bull in 2025. But like logically, like I knew the likelihood because all of this younger talent is coming into other teams, and if Red Bull really wants to keep up, they have to bring in a new talent. I understood that. I just think the way that Red Bull handled that entire weekend, and it's not just it is actually just Red Bull because people were asking VCarb, like all the VCarb workers, and they're like, yeah, no, we love Daniel. Like, I don't know what's going on. So it's solely Red Bull. And the way they treated it just wasn't good. But that was not good for him. And if you watched the post-quali interview, you could I felt like that was when I was like, okay, I really feel like he's not going to be in Austin. But then I was like, they wouldn't remove him for Austin because that's his favorite track. Red Bull just wouldn't do that. That's all I have to say.
you too. Guess who else is out? Checo.
Likely. I just
Let's
don't
see.
understand why they aren't putting Yuki in that Red Bull if he consistently keeps up with Max. In a tractor, nonetheless.
I have a simple word for you.
and racism.
Sponsors. Yeah.
Boom.
Whoa. A bunch of really accurate but correct words were spat.
I understand why,
I
but
saw
like at the
money,
same time,
I saw sponsors, I saw racism.
Is there
Every
not
word
one-
was a buzzword that was accurate and correct.
is there not one person in Red Bull that's like, why don't we even test it?
No. Why would there be?
Yeah.
Yuki,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna get you out.
there could be, but they're not significant enough in
Yeah.
the pyramid
They're
of
getting rid of Honda to go to a Ford engine when Honda has been nothing but good to them.
Yeah.
An American engine, you say?
Don't.
oh,
Let's
God.
walk with me. Walk with me.
I can't.
I've been
I'm
saying
sorry.
this.
He's testing
You can ask all of
I've got a
them.
dream.
I have been saying that. I'm like, literally my predictions. Logan free carb.
Listen,
Most American person possible.
listen.
You know it's
Logan's got to test that MSR. I hope someone else picks him up. That's all. That's all I've got. Who was on? Anyone have the stat on P1 2? Like who was on top in the session?
So,
Lando, I
Oscar.
think.
Who was it? Which of the papaya?
I have no
Hold
idea.
on, I'm trying to read the race report. Give me a second. Q1, Lando on top.
Mm-hmm.
Q2, Oscar.
Okay.
Q3, we all know.
All right. So, you two. Alex was complaining about the car.
Yeah.
I am upsetty spaghetti.
I just don't understand. Like, he had such a good weekend leading up to quali.
I have an idea. Williams cannot get fucking upgrades correct.
Join the party.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Join the frickin' party. Aston Martin's got a frickin' refrigerator and a frickin' oven.
They got the kitchen, but they're not cooking. They brought the appliances, but
I'm
not
telling you
the
right now,
chef.
Adrian Newey is on the Red Bull pit wall being like, oh, what did I sign up for?
He has a separate notebook and he's actually taking notes actively.
He's like, all right,
Martin's performance.
I need to fix this. I need to fix that.
he keeps walking.
I'm like, just throw out the whole thing.
Red Bull. That's not a Red Bull. What's that? What are you doing with that?
Worry about it. Like nothing. I just need to tell Fernando I'm on my way. Just give me 1 year. Don't retire. Give me 1 year.
Doing field
I
research.
said, you don't have to worry about that. I said, I'm not going.
Yeah.
But also, Hulkenberg.
Yeah. But Alex, Franco, Checo, Magnussen, and Ocon were all out of Q2.
Oh, Alex, man. And
Alex was
Franco.
close.
Franco was kind of tough on himself
Can I just?
being out in Q2, and I'm like, calm down, boy.
I
You
know.
were in Q3 last time.
This is good.
You're fine.
This is great for improvement.
Can I just tell you
I
when
hate to say
I
that,
woke
but
up?
improvement.
No, when I was already awake. What? I don't know. I was at work or something. I went on Twitter and literally my entire timeline was just Argentina fans being like, "It's fine. You did great. You're wonderful." And I'm like, Franco is so loved.
I
What?
do know though during Q2 with like right after Q2 and you knew who was getting knocked out, some of the commentators were like a shock for the shock of the qualifying session is Checo out, and I'm like, this is shocking.
Like, who said that?
But there's also as a Williams
Alonso
fan,
through also.
as a Williams fan, made me terrified because you had the Williams on one row and right behind them were Checo Perez and Kevin Magnussen. And Kevin Magnussen, no penalty points, shaking in my boots.
Q3.
Yuki through. Remember,
Oh.
I forgot to mention that. So, but also, Carlos Sainz.
Carlos.
Oh,
and-
man.
And the wall.
Man, man. It was a
Man.
big snap, too.
That was scary.
And like he
so
was able to maneuver the car so that it was just the back hitting the wall, but still,
I like everybody to know that I was watching, and they were showing. Who was it that was in front of Carlos? It was one of the McLarens.
Oh,
Was it?
I think it was Oscar.
It was Oscar.
going through
Okay,
and you
so
just see a
they're
red
showing
car.
Oscar coming through, and then all you see is go whoo, and that's all you see. You just see a car go, whoo. And I'm like,
I thought it was Charles for a second. I was just
I
like,
did
no.
too. I saw
But
a red
then it
car
was
on the wall, and
Carlos.
I
I was
said,
like-
"Oh man."
You said,
And-
"I know my man."
And then in the replay, it's just you could see just Oscar driving through, and then just it's red car on the wall. Like, man.
Oh,
I think that's all I have for Q3.
No,
Besides Lando on
with-
pole, but
with Q3 and Carlos's accident, they had deleted Max's time, and that was like a big issue of us. Just the why did they delete my time? This and that.
because they thought that
Yeah.
he didn't slow down for the double yellow.
mhm.
Which I believe he did slow down, so his time shouldn't have been deleted from what I read.
But once they deleted it,
I thought I think there was a big issue because after the race, they made a statement that said Max did actually slow down. We just investigated it. And everyone's like, why did you investigate it after the race? You should have done it.
That's a big issue with the FIA in general, of
Yeah.
investigation after the fact. And I get it, you don't have the time to fully deliberate, but like
But at least after
some things you should take a minute
the
to
end
just
of
be
the
like,
day,
wait.
maybe. Before the race.
Mhm.
And then because of this, this is where I got really nervous. Because of this red flag, there was only 8 minutes left, and only 3 people had set a time.
Yep.
So it was really nerve-wracking because they all got 1 lap basically.
1 lap shootout, and it was very
I
scary.
hate 1 lap shootouts.
I just don't understand why they can't. I understand why they can't, but I just don't actually understand why they can't just extend the time.
And wasn't it also during this qualifying where they told Max to overtake George, and then they told George to not let Max through, but by that time Max had overtaken George. I thought it was really funny. I'm sorry. That was that whole interaction. I was kind of giggling because I was like, you got one person telling Max this, you got one person telling George this, and by the time you can tell these people things, it's already done.
It's just like a mess.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Horrible.
Also, with Carlos's crash, only 3 drivers had posted the time, and then it was Oscar, Nico Hulkenberg.
Always Nico at the scene of the crime.
Yeah,
Always Nico.
he's there to reap the rewards, but then it just swiftly gets taken back from him, just like, on
Yeah.
merit.
Let's come back
And
to reality.
didn't Charles's time get deleted as
Yeah.
well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's at the end of qualifying.
Trust
So,
me, I
yeah.
am well aware of that. The amount of texts I got from some people. I was at work and I was like, okay, clear. I was like, this is not my driver, my dude. Give me till 5 p.m., please.
Mhm.
So Hulkenberg starting 6th in a Haas, right next to a McLaren.
Yeah.
I have to give him props.
I forget what interview it was. Or no, it might have been Aya who's getting interviewed right before the race of them just like, "Oh, are you gonna race the McLarens? Where do you think you're gonna be?" They're like, no. He's just like,
Oh my God.
and they're like, we've got a few, like our competitors like right behind us. We're racing with them, and we're just gonna try and keep that spot as long as possible. And I'm like, you know what? I respect that. He said, don't get too ambitious.
Before I was really interrupted by my dog, Charles was like, he got on the radio and he was like, what are we, 7, 8, 9 or something like that, and that's when they got told he was 9, and then he got really upset about his tires.
I think what's it called? During Q3, Ferrari's Carlos, but Charles wasn't doing too well in terms of performance because before his lap time had gotten deleted, it had still placed behind Kevin Magnussen. Nico Hulkenberg.
Okay,
I've got one
Haas
Haas in
here.
my brain and it's always my enemy. But yeah, his time after he had crossed the line when it would jump up, and it jumped up and it was still behind Hulkenberg. And I was just like, wait a minute. And then he went back down.
I was like, oh, thank God.
Lando had set his lap his pole lap, at one point was he said it a little bit earlier on, so we were just kind of waiting for all the other cars to just pass and hopefully not go above him.
I think
and he did it.
Oscar was out first on track, and then it was Lando, so he was able to get.
Yeah, Oscar went to top of the times, and then Lando came around and went to the top of the times.
So it was basically just a waiting game of seeing everybody else come through because he wasn't going to get another lap in, so.
But Lando on pole. Woo!
This is 6 career, 5 this season.
Stats.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Which brings us to the race. Because guess what stat he got rid of?
The pole.
Yeah, like actually
Thank God.
Losing.
the little like graphic. I was like, F1, that is
The
That's
F1 graphics this
nasty.
weekend were very like harsh.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
just like,
harsh.
nasty.
Like
for
spitting their
every
coffee
type
in
of
the
driver,
morning.
you
Damn.
they did Lando, they did Logan, and then they did Max.
And then they had the little driver profiles come up, and it was like Carlos's, and it was like wins, la la la, career DNFs.
For who?
Like, that was the only one. Like, and they were next to Charles, and Charles was like, "First job, this like dog's name or whatever." And I was like, "What do you have against Carlos Sainz?"
Have Carlos's ball? No, I'm good.
But
Like, it was so. I woke up and everyone's like, "This graphic is insane," and then I kept seeing different like fans of different drivers being like, "This graphic's insane. What is that one?" I was like, "Wait a minute."
Every graphic was insane this weekend.
I was like, someone in the editing room went, "You know what? I'm done with the driver swaps. I'm done with these stupid graphics. You're getting these."
Let me start roasting. They said it's hot enough. Get roasted. But this race, upon race start, it was Carlos's 200th start and Lewis's 350th start.
And Oscar Piastri's 40th.
Oh, really? That one wasn't.
Wow, we're in the hundreds.
But go Oscar! Woo!
Yeah, they mentioned that in the stream, like after they were like, "It's Carlos Sainz's 200th, and Lewis Hamilton's 350th," and he's like, "And Oscar Piastri's 40th."
It's like, everyone, it's so funny because I saw a bunch of Lewis fans being like, "He made it, woohoo!" And all the Alonso fans go, "Wait till Mexico and they figure out Fernando Alonso's on his 400th."
oh,
Oh my.
Oh man.
dang.
2 years retired. Oh man.
And that's just F1. That doesn't include any other sport he did.
Historic times when there was like only like 12 races a season.
I don't think he ever. I think there's. I could be wrong. I might have to add this in later, but I'm pretty sure he's only ever missed a race like twice.
It's kind of embarrassing.
And one was his crash in the gravel.
Another hobby or something.
Do you have
I mean,
appendix or not? Like,
No. He doesn't.
So, upon race start, Lando,
Had such a
Clean.
good start.
clean lap one.
Parade for times like these.
I couldn't watch.
Can I just say, this is crazy because most of the grid was lapped.
Yeah, he locked up to 8th, I think.
Yeah.
Max was like, "I thought you were gonna lap me."
yeah.
I was nervous. I'm gonna be honest.
That would have been funny though. Would have been very funny.
Was this the race that Hamilton kind of got screwed over with his strategy?
Likely of every
He
race.
he
to
was
be
started
fair.
on
Yeah.
he was started on softs and then he's like,
Oh,
"Guys,
yeah.
why did you pit me so early?"
Yeah, he was like, "We're gonna struggle."
It was still in lap one. Franco made some moves.
Franco?
And Alex was not too happy about it. But
No.
Franco
Oh,
had
no.
made some moves.
Alex was not happy whatsoever.
Alex was pissed, but it's okay. Also, I forget who else was on the radio on it or an afterwards interview of just like that's kind of just like the risks you make as a rookie, like the moves you make because you don't have. And I'm like, huh? What do you mean?
Oh yeah, that was I'm pretty sure it was Carlos.
It might have been.
I think
Likely of me to pay
the thing
attention.
is people took that quote and then he's like, the actual quote's like, that's what you do as a rookie. And he's like, everyone's done it.
Mm.
There's no way you can learn unless you do it. Also, Franco did it cleanly,
Yeah.
which is shocking from a rookie.
It wasn't like Checo's dive bomb almost in Miami.
Bleh.
But then Alex started.
I support
Hey,
wrong.
listen, Mel. Listen,
I don't
Mel.
want to say. I don't want to say it.
Listen,
No, Alex was actually doing so well. And I was like, okay, Alex is going to get decent points. And then he went into the pits and he goes, guys, something's wrong with the car. And I was like, no, stop.
Car too hot.
Yeah.
Did we
2.0.
see if we got that graphic on his dash?
No, we didn't.
I
They
said
have,
it
but-
afterwards.
yeah.
Unfortunate.
I saw him limping around, and I said, "Oh no!"
Also, K-Mag also DNF'd, and I still don't know why.
I didn't know he
They
DNF'd.
never said. I don't
They
think
just brought his. They just brought his car in. And that's it. Nah.
give it up, man.
I said retire the car.
They just
Why?
they said it on the F1 TV, like the international one, and they're like, "Oh, they're retiring Kevin Magnussen and Lando Norris," and I was like, "Wait a minute, rewind."
So bad.
Why?
That was
I thought he got into an accident, like he crashed into someone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, who was in front of him? Who was behind? Who did he hit? What happened?" And still to this day, don't know.
Did he hit the wall?
instead of Yuki's too much information during the race.
Let's look it up. I'm gonna look it up if it says it in the race report. Keep talking
No, I'm
while I-
looking at it, but it
What was
doesn't.
the context of the Yuki quote? I know the too much information, but I forget exactly why he told them to shut up.
Like the people around him or something.
Yeah,
and he
they
was
were
like, "That's too much
Uh-huh.
information while I'm driving. Like, stop."
Yeah,
To be
they
fair,
also
they're right.
they were using full names. So they were like Fernando Alonso, and he's like, too much information.
I don't have the bandwidth
Which, like,
to understand what you're saying right now.
valid. He was like surrounded by people, and they're like, all right, Lando Norris is going this fast. And I'm like, he's not fighting Lando. Calm
That's
down.
not his fight.
No, sure ain't.
That was a jinx.
McLaren got fastest pit stop,
Yarg.
which they didn't show, and then they announced it at the end. It's like McLaren got this 2.11.
Can I just? I would like to ask why they were not showing how fast some of these pit stops were.
No, they
like-
really weren't.
Like they'll bring
Normally
the
we
graphic
have
up,
that time.
but then they
Mhm.
won't
Yeah.
put the final time on, and I'm like, hello,
I
this
think
is
I
really
tweeted it.
crucial to my information, please.
I
Like,
think
now
I
I
tweeted
need
it
to know whether or
when they
not I
brought
say
in
yay or say boo.
They brought in, I don't
Like,
remember if it was Alonso or Max, but they brought in one of them, and it just said Red Bull pit stop 0-0, or like Aston Martin 0-0, and I went, well, it's not that fast, I can guarantee it.
that is not a pit stop.
I was like,
No,
that's
hold
just a
on, wait a minute.
drive-by.
And then
Yeah.
I have, because Lando was on fire. He was using those mediums. Mediums?
Yes.
Because I think everyone besides like Daniel and Lewis were on mediums. Daniel
Yeah.
and Lewis were on hards.
Lewis was on softs
I said-
and then hards.
That's
And then I think
Softs.
Danny went,
Danny was softs to like mediums or something, and then back to
Yeah.
softs for the last lap.
I
I said Lando gap 14 seconds right now. Hot. Not in an FW46 way. That's one of my literal notes. As soon as they mentioned that Alex's car was overheating and there was an issue with the cooling, I could only just car too hot.
Sorry, but all the way up to P8 plus 1 lap, it's kind of crazy. I'm
Lando
like
Norris,
one
man
of
that
these
you are.
one of these days somebody's
And
gonna lap up to
everyone before
P4.
But Lando though, Lando's drive was not necessarily perfect. I know it had several of us shaking because he decided to clip walls every now and then.
Man, he really knows
which I
how
just
to
don't understand.
He loves
keep
the
it
drama.
nervous.
Even Will was like, okay, let's
Yeah.
let it out.
Just take it home.
I was switching between international, like the regular F1, and I think it was DC who's like, why isn't his engineer going on to the radio saying, all right, let's just bring it home. Let's bring it home, because I would understand that would mean to slow down. And the other person was like, yeah, I don't think Lando's slowing down.
At one point, Will did say it. It was very late into the race after
Yeah.
his two
Mhm.
touches of the wall. But the first touch, he reported possible front wing damage,
I said,
and
And then
everyone
they
was
pit
afraid.
him and they didn't change the front wing. And I was like, if my leading driver said possible front wing, I'd be like, all right, take it off.
Yeah, because
Not
they
even
had enough
risking it.
time. They had enough time with Oscar like backing him to have done a swap. It might have lost him a little bit, but like he would have
He
made
still
up
would
for
have
it.
been leading.
But
Yeah.
they said that there
wasn't enough.
there was no there wasn't enough damage to be crucial. Like
Yeah.
there may have been like one little thing off, but it wasn't like going to
Enough
change the
to-
trajectory of the whole entire race. Like, so that's the only reason why they didn't do it. And
then bro did it again. And that one was
I
That
support,
was big.
I support his,
horrifying.
I agree, Haley. I agree.
What was that one?
I support his rights and wrongs. I love when he does shit just to do shit.
I actually think
it's
it makes
very-
it more interesting because, like, even when Max used to be, you know, in a comfortable lead, like, remember, was it Austria last
He's
year?
like, you want me to
And he
practice
was
a
like-
pit?
He was
Yeah.
like, or
He was-
it was like when he went off and he was like, oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally went into the gravel and drove out and he went, oops.
I think it makes it all more fun.
And then I think it was also,
But-
I think it was either Mexico or Brazil where he went off and he went, huh, I just almost crashed us out. He was like 28 seconds ahead. I was like, Max, that's not funny.
That's the only way to make the big gaps
Worth
fun.
it. Yeah.
and like
Yes.
exciting to watch. It's like, yeah, I hit the wall just a little bit.
But I think also Oscar was very good this
He was very
race, and he was the team player.
Yeah.
And they were like, keep him up and hold him up, and he's like, say less.
And then he
I
did.
got it.
He did. Also-
George on the radio.
I was just gonna bring that up.
You want to go ahead, take it.
That he asked for a bit of encouragement from his end.
He's so me.
A bit
He's
of
so
encouragement.
me.
all of the F1 TV commentators started making fun of him.
Yeah.
Being like, Julian Palmer, I think you're a really great commentator. He'd be like, thank you, DC. I really enjoy the way that you break
I
down race.
think Crofty was also doing it too. I think they
Yeah.
were doing it as well. They were
Clowned
like,
him.
Like, have you ever heard a
He's
driver
so
ask to
real
be
for it.
job well?
He's so real for it. But I also like in the post race interview, they were like, we heard you were struggling. You were asking for encouragement. And he goes, I do it all the time.
This is the only time we've caught it.
This is
Hello.
the only time we've got it.
I need them to broadcast that every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like
Appar-
it's just like when
Stream is
Brian
on
goes
board,
to
but only the sound.
Yeah.
it's just like when it's Brian and it's like a Charles radio and he goes, keep it up, you're doing great, keep it up. And I was like,
Like Brian's
no.
his cheerleader, bro.
I was like, Rosie has a type.
Brian with George because like Charles doesn't ask for it.
Brian just
No.
gives it.
it's just wild
Well,
that he
we actually
asked
don't
for
know
it.
if Charles actually asked for it, but it's the pre-race breakdown of like how we're gonna go, and he's gonna be like, "Listen, if I'm screaming or I look frustrated, give me some encouragement here. This is a Ferrari."
Yeah,
But-
George is a little silly on that one.
Franco holding up Checo
Oh,
was pure gold.
That was a rare Checo win when he goes, "Wow, he's really racing. He's a really good racer."
But also
I
what
love giving him
Yeah.
his flowers.
he's like, wow, this really is really
He's
like,
like,
giving me
"Hey,
a run for my
this movie without a seat next year is really good, guys.
like, I'm really struggling right now.
I'm like, Checo,
Hey,
do you
this
know
really-
you're at risk though? Like, yes, you have a contract, but you're also in Red Bull. A contract means nothing. But
I know.
good
I'm
for
really
it,
glad.
Franco.
Yeah, Franco, you really rocked everybody's world right then and
Yeah.
there.
Also, did you see like the
yeah.
post race where he was like, "Yeah, I was just racing. Like that's what I was supposed to do. That's my job. That is his job.
I saw a
Racing."
clip of not the interview, but it's Franco being interviewed, and then up the stairs it's Checo watching him from above.
He's like, I gotta take notes,
Wild.
kid.
So what's he doing down
He's
there?
just staring at him in awe, I guess. Like me
But,
too, but
His job is
Was
racing.
this the race where Charles?
He's racing.
my
that
next
was-
no. I have Yuki angry for radio swap. Oh, angry radio for swap.
Yeah.
As he should.
Which like I was like, they're gonna switch him. I just thought it was a really bad like where they were on the track. I was like, there's no way they can switch him without getting overtaken by like 3 people. And then I realized it was Lando, Max, and Oscar. Yuki. And I was like, wait a minute, they're gonna have to overtake Daniel anyways.
They wanted Yuki to speed up to Daniel, which Yuki was on new soft tires, so he was getting on the radio and being like, "So you want me to ruin my new good soft tires to get in front of him, to then not have the good tires I need to do what I need to do?"
And they were
And
like, yep.
"Yep,
Welcome
that's
to V-Carb, everyone. Welcome to V-Carb strategy. I think the way he said it, like it was breaking up on the like radio, and so I think it was DC who's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to use your tires. And I was like, no. He's not supposed to use his tires on a teammate.
no, exactly." Like, that's so dumb. You put new tires on him to fight his own teammate?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
But other than that, I feel like the radios were kind of quiet.
Yeah. Everyone
George is funny though. He goes, I have understeer and oversteer. And yeah, hold on, wait a minute.
I was like,
both?
wait a minute, yeah.
How both? That means it don't mean balance, but I know it doesn't. But it was very funny. I said, "Can Mag retire?" I smiled.
But
That's all of my last page.
Daniel Ricciardo was set. Well, he was pit, and I was like, why are they pitting him on the last lap? Is he gonna retire on the last lap? I was like, just let him finish because it's not looking good. Just let him finish, and then they pit him for soft tires. And I was like, okay, that's a strange one. And then all of a sudden, it was like fastest lap Daniel Ricciardo, and I was like, okay. And he set the track record. So not only did he go out with the fastest lap, he went out with a track record. But Lando won
by a landslide.
by 20.945 seconds.
Wow.
Can I just say,
Maybe.
Maybe she can't.
Maybe? You're waiting?
Can you?
The crowd goes home.
The crowd goes.
sorry, I was like, it was in my thoughts, and then as I was speaking, and whatever.
It was no longer there.
I really think that, like, I know Lando's pushing these, like, when he's, like, doing these 20 plus seconds, but I think at the same time, he's not pushing, if you know what I mean.
Because he's really managing the tires too.
Right. So, like, I know some people are like, oh my God, like, just slow down. Like, everybody was telling Max to slow down, you know, like, it's like one of those things. But I don't think either of them were, like, they weren't pushing. Like, they're managing their tires well enough, and then they just had the car.
Just naturally like that.
Yeah, and I think it's just naturally, and that's all I wanted to say. It popped into my head last minute.
I think Max this year is pushing harder than he's ever pushed. Maybe not for 2021, but I think he's like, okay, I need to work a little bit harder, which is why he's having trouble at the end of the race, because he's using more of his tires than he's ever had to use in the past few years. And so he's like, I don't know what I'm doing with this car. It's just so bad. I'm like, maybe because you're actually pushing. Like, you're not in the front by 28 seconds, and you're just like, can we practice a pit stop?
I remember.
I wish I brought my pillow. This is a boring race. Like, he's actually working to get on the podium. And he's like, oh, this is my job.
Yeah, people last year I remember saying, like, we need someone to come in who can, like, put it to Max, because, like, he's not remembering what it's like to be a race driver. Like, he's just driving, but he's not racing. And, like, he's gonna get too comfortable. But then Lando coming in like this, he's, like, learning to fight again.
And
which
not only Lando.
so more, like,
I think he likes
fulfilling.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like only Lando. Like,
Everyone.
we've got some Mercs, we've got some Ferraris. Like,
Other McLaren.
But can I just say,
yeah,
I
the
know
other
Max likes it,
McLaren.
but when he found out that Lewis Hamilton was leading the British Grand Prix, he locked in.
He said, "Not on my watch."
He like sped up so fast. He was like, absolutely not.
He said, "I can't have him have that good of a time."
And everyone's like, the Mercedes Red Bull fight is back on, except instead of Seb Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, it's Max and Lewis. Now, Rosie was like, I just think every time Red Bull wants Max to get the best out of the car, they should just say Lewis is leading, even if he's DNFing.
He's like, I don't see him on the track. Well,
It's like, keep watching. It's fine. He's
a
so
little bit
far
ahead.
ahead,
He's a
you
little
won't
bit
see
more
him.
ahead.
He's actually behind you because he's about to lap you. So if you
Like,
Need to speed it up.
come on.
Which is actually like, I'm like, yeah, but they won't do that. But I think it would be really smart. And then post race interviews, cried my eyes out.
I cried from laughing at DC dumping the water on Lando.
And Lando
And then just
he had
accepting
no
the
response.
hug.
It was just a hug. And DC's just like, I'll take it. I'll take a hug from the race winner. I'm like,
Like, not all
yeah.
get a hug from a race.
I heard David Coulthard is doing the post race, and I went, no.
Real, it should have been Hinch. It should have
It
been
should
Hinch.
have
Should have been
Hinchcliffe.
Hinch.
Daniel Ricciardo is officially not a driver anymore. And I have words for Red Bull. I
The
have a lot
reaction of
words.
all the other drivers and teams was really nice.
Can I just say, imagine having a driver basically be your driver for 10-ish years, and then tell him, actually not even him, tell his replacement 2 weeks before Singapore, hey, we have your contract here, sign it. He signs it. And then they go, Daniel Ricciardo, you're not driving in Singapore, but we're not telling anybody until after because everybody will hate us. So just pretend you don't know. That's what I have to say. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
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 And like
I can't even really be that, like, I'm so excited for Liam, but like the whole situation is so
and like
gross. Like,
It's
they
such
don't even have Liam for 2025. They're just like, he's
Yeah.
gonna race for the rest of 2024, which is 6 races.
yeah,
Which the rumor is,
literally the 6 he didn't do last year.
yeah. The rumor is they're not giving him a contract for V-Card because they're seeing how he matches up with the Red Bulls. But I don't understand why they're doing that in a V-Carb versus a Red Bull.
I don't think
Don't
they should put
understand.
Liam up to the Red Bull seat. If
Um,
anything,
I
I
don't
think it should be
either.
Yuki's.
I think they should move Yuki up.
Put Isaac and
Hell, put Max back down. Teach him how to race again.
I'd like
But-
to propose to Liam Lawson, when you do get on the grid for next year, please race under 95.
Oh,
Yeah.
Please.
You would ha-
man.
Do we know what number he's
Opportunity.
racing under for Coda?
No,
No.
I don't know
No,
if he's
not yet.
the same.
Yeah. I
He's
forgot
also
what they're
starting with
doing.
the 10 grid.
95.
reserve
penalty.
40?
the number that you're registered
can-
under.
Well,
For-
not if you're taking the seat, not if you're getting a
Okay.
full contract.
Because
I think it's
Ollie-
40. Is it
Ollie's
40?
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
other-
It's 40.
He is
95
starting with
is an
10
option, Liam Lawson.
He is
Don't let
starting
anyone
with the
take it
10
from
grid
you.
penalty.
Just for the sprint, though, thank God.
Thank God.
He'll cook in the race.
What was the last sprint race?
Was it Miami the last sprint?
Was it Miami?
Or did we have one in between?
I think we had one. Let me look.
Austria.
Yeah, I was gonna say there is one.
Austria was the last one.
Anything else on the race?
Double papaya podium.
A good one for once.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Cooldown room was so fun.
Oh, that
Best of the
Oh
year.
my gosh.
that was so funny.
Without
cooldown room?
swearing.
Punked.
Punked, yeah. But what's it called? They replayed Lando like dinging the wall and Max is just like, oh, and Lando just goes, I almost shit myself.
That's like an underrated trio.
Yeah.
Truly. All right, so that was it for Singapore. Thank you for joining us. And next race is Coda, which me, Lex, Reagan, and Haley will be at. So that's going to be exciting. And watch out for all of that to come. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.